Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Today we shall talk about moderated mediation model 3. In our previous two videos, we have already used the process model 7 and process model 8. Today we shall use the process model 58. In process model 7, we tested the designation a moderator, that how does it affect the X and M relationship. In model 8, we expanded the moderation model and put that condition on two paths, XM and XY, and today we are going to use the same moderator designation and test its impacts on XM and XY are A and B paths. In MM3 model 58, the moderator designation plays roles on both A and B paths to change the effect of X on Y, and these are the indirect effects of X on Y. The model suggests that with the change in the type of respondent, officer or staff member, a moderator, the impact of X through M changes on Y. More precisely, the role of X and M in bringing variation in Y is different from an officer to a staff member. In this lecture, we shall present the computations of how much is the difference in our sample situation. The model, as you have already seen, showing the impact or the role of designation on path A and path B, and we shall use model 58 from the Hayes set of models for the moderated mediation. Now, let's go to the SPSS and use the same data matrix we have used in last two videos to compute the moderated mediation with the help of model 58 to check how far it affects the path A and path C in the research model. So self-confidence will go to independent variable, employee performance, outcome variable or dependent variable, organizational culture as the mediator, and designation will go to moderator. We shall select model 58 for this purpose and also click effect size, Sobel test and total effect model with 3 decimal places and click OK. The results of the 58 model are here. I have taken these results to the slideshow. So the first output of the process is that it tells about which model have been used, 58 model number. The independent variable is the self-confidence, while dependent variable is employee performance. Mediation has been played by organizational culture, and W or the moderator is designation. The first output in the form of relations between X and OC, the results show that R square is 549, around 55% of change in organizational culture is occurring due to self-confidence, designation and interaction term on this path. which is also with huge F value, which is 118, far greater than required 20, it is also significant. In the coefficients table, we can see that self-confidence is having coefficient or effect of 0.5325, t-score is 7.3, far greater than required 1.96, p-value is also significant, where the lower and upper limits of the confidence interval are also on the same side, plus side, so no chance of zero in between. So all these supporting statistics confirm that the impact of self-confidence on organizational culture is huge and significant. Then comes the designation. The designation has also significant relationship with organizational culture, and it is affecting it with huge coefficient, t-score 3.4, p-value is significant, as is the lower and upper limits of confidence interval, but the relationship is negative. However, the interaction term on this path is positively contributing to the change in organizational culture with coefficient of 0.3856, t-score 4.1 greater than 1.96, p-value is also significant, and the lower and upper limits of confidence interval, they are also on the same side of positive, so no zero between the limits. So organizational culture is predicted by all three variables with huge statistics and significance. Next output is about the dependent variable, y variable, the main question of this model, that how far x, m and w they are affecting, or they are bringing change in the dependent variable. So we can see that r square is also huge, 0.575, about 58% of change is occurring in the employee performance because of these four variables. Likewise, the p-value is very much significant. The coefficients of these variables show that organizational culture is significantly associated. It is predicting employee performance with a powerful weight of 0.2847. T-score is also greater than 1.96. P-value is significant, and both lower and upper limits of confidence interval, because of being on positive side, have no chance of getting zero between the limits. So the results are significant. OC is affecting the outcome or the dependent variable employee performance. Second is the self-confidence. It is also positively affecting the employee performance with a coefficient of 0.114. T-score is also greater than 1.95. The p-value is also significant, 0.04. It is less than 0.05, therefore significant. And likewise, the lower and upper limits of the confidence interval are also significant. So self-confidence is also making contribution to the variation in employee performance. Then designation is also significant, as it was in the case of OC, but it is negatively affecting the employee performance. The interaction term 2 on this path is also significant with coefficient of 0.3226, t-score greater than 1.96, p-value is also less than 0.05, significant, and the lower and upper limits of confidence interval, they are also significant. So all of the four variables are contributing to the employee performance. Now let's move to the effects, direct and indirect effects of X, M, W on Y. Now the direct effects of X on Y are 0.1140. It is significant. The t-score is 2.0, which is greater than 1.96. P-value is also significant, that is less than 0.05. And the lower and upper limits of confidence interval, they are also significant because they have no zero in the middle of the two limits. Further, the indirect effect, that was the direct effect, the indirect effect of X on Y through M and W is given below. That in case of staff, the effect is 1.1516, which is significant, and in case of officers, in the presence of organizational culture, the effect is huge, 0.5576, which is also significant. So today we discussed the role of designation on path A and path B of the model using 58 number model of Hayes in explaining the direct and indirect relationships of X on Y or self-confidence on employee performance in the presence of organizational culture, but using the moderator showing the officers and staff members as the actors behind this process. And we have found huge differences between the impacts of self-confidence of officers as compared to the use of self-confidence by the staff members in changing their performance. So that is enough for today, and see you in next video. Khuda Hafiz.